Okay, I've said this information in many episodes, but it kind of would get lost into it, especially since a lot of my episodes get long in order to explain important concepts in religion that's corrupted. So I'm just going to say this right now. One of the qualities, since I tell you guys I'm supernatural, but I just can't tell you who I am, but yes, I do know who I am. That means one of my supernatural abilities is having prophetic abilities, and I'm going to tell you right specifically what right now the amount I have. In the future, it obviously will probably increase. So right now, and God told me my birthday, October 2024. I'm born October 2020. I'm sorry, I'm born October, but this October 2024, I turned 31. So the demonic persecution that all prophets go through, that I'm also going through, which is how I, basically expose a lot of things on this podcast, all these things I talk about, all this knowledge. I learned it through demons being made to possess people and follow me around ever since before my birth. And I always say before my birth because they're already there before you're born. Okay. Which now, I just used to say that before, but now I actually have confirmation because I was adopted by Africans, but I'm Arab. So it makes sense. That means, that, yeah, something happened to my parents and I was just put into Africa, and that's how God was hiding me all this time. So, for that reason, right? It's before my birth that something bad is already happening. It's never gonna be something filthy or bad. It's just you know, just what you think persecution is. Like, you have a supernatural birth. That's what it means. It just means God does something unique. You're not gonna just be born like everybody else and just be with your parents in that sense. Um, so I do know my Arab ethnicity, but obviously I'm not gonna know who those parents were. I think they're alive, and I think God will um, tell me, right, to go meet them one day, but that's not really something that I'm focused on right now because it's up to Him to tell me what to do. So, and since I'm supernatural, it means I don't have those qualities that humans have, that sort of softness. Prophets are not soft, and I'm not soft. So I don't like feel that way. You know what I mean? I can be by myself, I can be alone forever. I don't have any sadness in that way, that sort of fragileness a human has, because that's what it means to be supernatural. It means I'm just strong in those areas. So I just have a relationship with God that if you knew, right, you would understand. I'm very close to Him, basically, more than a human could ever be. I'm close to Him like a prophet would be. And I've always known who He is. I always know who God is. I just know Him. So I never would question if God is one or if God is Allah or I'm never going to get that knowledge from religion itself. It's like, since I was already who I am to Him, but He just blinds me, just right blinds me in the world of who I am for some time, and then the persecution is therefore possible, right? Um, and it's not real persecution. I always call it fake persecution, everybody, because it's not directed at me. That's just how I learn things. That's how He teaches me His religion is corrupted, just like He did for prophets. He puts us through situations where demons bother us when we're just babies till now, so that then we learn what they even do. Sort of the amount of involvement they have in this world, which is 99.9. They control everything, sadly. But when good people come together and the true religion comes back, then yeah, they lose control. So it's not always. It's just in these times of corruption. Okay, so you might be like, how do they control everything? One, demonic possession. 99.9% of the human race is possessed. Animals and pests. Just good people, their possession doesn't affect them in a bad way. It's like they just are attacked in the mind, as in that sense. But evil people, you know what I mean? They get to control their body and stuff. So yeah. And then the other ways they control the world is exactly because they're possessing those humans. They get to influence who your presidents become, who gets that job. If you get hired today, that's why you always see so much injustice in situations where someone has to pick somebody, right? They always pick people you would say seem very evil in character. That's because demons are making the decision, because whoever's hiring you, for example, like that, they get to manipulate it because they're similar. But usually life is fine, unless you're in my situation, which is weird. Usually you're fine. Human beings really do live normally. God still gives you that balance. But then, right, the world goes crazy like 2019, because that's for me when the persecution got heavy. Even though I was followed all my life, it basically, the world is gonna be crazy when you know who I am one day, you're gonna then understand. When I was being attacked more. So that's why it's connected to me. But it's also connected to me because I am symbolizing the times, the years that God is teaching me his religion is corrupted and guiding me. So it's also connected to God, his religion, when he's about to unveil it and send it down again because it's destroyed. So they're all connected to me. It doesn't mean I'm so important. It's really God's timing, his religion, which is obviously very important, his scriptures, which is very important, his past prophets, right? It's connected to all of these, right? Um, Individuals and these scriptures, right? And his religion, right? When I say individual, I mean prophets, not God. So, okay, since I'm mixed with that, right? Since I'm an individual that's mixed with that, it's like things will happen in my life more, right? The persecution will get higher. I'll just have more difficulty in life. I'll just suffer a little more when it's almost time for God to send down his religion again. So it's really because the religion is coming. That then, okay, that the world is going crazy. But since I'm going to take a part in that, I'm going to help to bring down that religion. Okay, what does that mean? I'm also going to be attacked in a way that you would then see it's connected to me. And you just see that I'm exposing things to you. Okay, so what I'll do in the future, only God knows. But yes, I do know who I am. So lastly, one of that, right, is that prophetic knowledge he taught me then on my birthday. And then October 2023, God made me create this podcast exposing the Quran, Islam is corrupted, etc., which hasn't happened in, right, centuries. No one said that, after a prophet, maybe someone said it back then, but then it's just gone. Evil Muslims keep being born for some reason. Good people don't seem to come out. And if there was ever any good Muslim, they become Christian, sadly. They don't really figure out what happened. So anyways, I'm therefore the first one to tell the world Quran is corrupted. Okay. But then what else? The fact that then October 2022, I was in jail, sadly. Demons possess people to accuse me of stuff. Okay, October 2021, I got arrested the first time. So I was stuck in that jail till 2023. And then, so you see, everything's on my birthday. And then October 2020, I was trying to leave the country many times, to get away from the, the persecution, the bad stuff happening everywhere I go. I wanted to go to Asia. And since I'm Asian, they wanted to prevent me from being there. That's also another reason. God is keeping me here for some reason. And then, yeah, I had to just go to other states instead of leaving the country. I wanted to go to China and Taiwan. And see, COVID started there. Okay, and then like that. But then 2024, God actually told me who I am in that sort of, bigger way, louder. And then two, he told me prophetic knowledge, which is what this is about. So I know who the antichrist is. No one knows that. I actually know who that is. I know who Gog and Magog, or Magog, or Gog and Magog, Yuj or Majuj. I know who they are. And what else did God tell me? The beast of the earth, I know what it symbolizes. I know what it means. I do believe it's a real living being that will arise. But sort of like where we're going to find them and stuff like that, God gave me some hints. It's kind of awkward that, right? It's already been there in history for us. And it's in my lifetime, This knowledge is put in a context. It's put in a subject, everyone, where it's like encryption. But it was created around the time I was young. It wasn't created billions of years ago. So, I mean, I don't mean that it was never. No, I'm sorry. It could have been created billion years ago. Obviously, goodness, I don't know what happened billion years ago. I mean, it wasn't created earlier. Sorry, not billions of years ago. It wasn't created like 1990, or 1980. It was created like 2008, which is sort of like when the persecution got a little higher for me. They were using that evil adoptive family to torment me, and they were African, to torture me a little more back then, ruin my education, my health, you know. They were just so creepy and weird. And God still didn't kill or punish them yet. They're going to be killed soon by God. All these evil human beings that demons were allowed to use in the persecution, obviously God's going to kill them. So it also requires a lot of patience on my behalf. Just wait for their punishment. Because you don't know how evil they are. I am not seeing the typical American in this country. No, I'm seeing the weirdest, creepiest, nastiest, most extremely mentally ill human beings in this country in the persecution. But then some human beings, like the Texas jail I was put in. I went to Dallas County Jail. They accused me of mental illness, put me in a hospital there. Like that. Just the typical employees there. But they're the typical psychopath, narcissist, sociopath, extremely harmful human beings, because of that that narc, personality disorders they have. But they're always the ones who seem to, at a 60-70% level, take healthcare jobs, medical jobs. So it's very dangerous. And yes, God will destroy mental hospitals, jails, and prisons. We're going to get rid of any place where it's dangerous to be there by yourself, right? You're being detained by humans, and if they're evil, obviously that's not funny. Like that. That's not how you're supposed to punish human beings. You're not supposed to isolate them with all these strangers who could obviously do evil too. We don't create a place when we're trying to get rid of evil that then could invite more evil. And the fact that they don't isolate prisoners from each other is something God also showed me in that jail. I always was asking to be isolated, because not only do they put me in jail, which everyone's possessed, right? They're not going to treat me the way they normally do. They're scared of me. They're possessed. So it's like they're just going to act bad all day. And all they do is accuse me. But they accuse me of mental illness like prophets, So then I'm surrounded by mentally ill, psycho, very harmful human beings instead of just typical people who go to jail for DUI. So, right? Normal people. So for that reason, I was tormented every day in that jail. 24/7, they would make noise. They would make sound. Their own crazy disorders, were tormenting me, a healthy person. So that's another way psychologically I was tortured in that jail, other than being accused. How traumatic that is. And not giving me a court trial, not letting me get out, not like that. It's not directed at me. I was just learning what's wrong with these institutions. They need to be destroyed. And God allowed me to be accused of mental illness so that I could see then what they also suffer, the way they're abused. They don't even come out of jail, everybody, But then obviously in another context, they're obviously getting released easily too for crimes they do. They don't get punished like others also. It's also very easy for them to get away from punishment, because they sort of like, they're insane, let's release them. That nonsense. So it's like the bad places I go, the bad things that happen, it's just to teach me what's wrong with this world, so that one day God can tell me to stop it, and I actually know what I'm talking about. And that's what persecution meant for prophets. It doesn't mean we were targeted. It doesn't mean people actually arrested me. No, God did it. So forget about it. Those humans don't know anything. As they were arresting me, they were shaking as hell. Sometimes I would call them. I'd be like, can you send this grievance letter to the judge? And they're shaking as hell as they take the it's not directed. The human deep in their core, they're scared to death. They don't know who you are, but they know you're obviously not a regular human. So they're scared to death. If they know who I am, obviously then they wouldn't be able to do that. So God is blinding them. God is making them do it. But since I'm still me, you're scared as hell. But then God is making you still, right? Just do whatever you're doing. And that's how I learned. So 2024, then October, God is always picking my birthday. He told me who the antichrist is, who Gog and Magog are, the beast of the earth, and also the hour, like when the world's gonna end, like the hour, as Islam calls it. Sort of like a way that we can figure it out. I know what it is now, what it symbolizes. Certain sort of signs we can look for, what's gonna happen basically. But the actual hour, I don't know that. That's up to him to tell me in the future if he wants to. So I always tell you, I have the same life of prophets, obviously. I just can't tell you who I am. And then, yeah, this is another quality of a prophet, having prophetic knowledge. So God will decide when I get to tell human beings who these characters are. And obviously, the last prophet that's coming, Mahdi, yes, they're a prophet. Otherwise, there's no reason to send another leader. I explained many episodes teaching you that. But sadly, the devil, in his free will to accuse even God, right, the divine creator, he's allowed to just lie about everyone God created also. It doesn't mean demons are stronger than prophets or God or anything. Obviously, you already know that he's not stronger than God. Okay, but same way he's not stronger than God, he's a weak creation, but God allows him to lie about God, right? I mean, yeah, he's allowed to lie about prophets too, like Mahdi. So I don't think he's equal to them or something. prophets are supernatural, but they're stronger than demons versus equal. No, they're stronger than demons. It's just the first 30 years of their life, like mine, that we're going through the training, the learning, the sort of suffering. It's also a trial on our character or faith. Okay, if you observe the behavior, everybody, you being put in jail, you're gonna think they're tough and scary and put you in jail. If you're a third party, you're seeing that. No, God put me in jail. Okay, God made demons bother me. God told them to do it. Okay, I know it doesn't make sense. God is not evil. He made them do it. They didn't follow me. They didn't look for me. Okay, it's fake as hell. That's why I call it fake persecution. Okay, it wasn't supposed to be this long. Sorry. So right, since God is putting us through it, that's why we can't get out of it. You know, that's why you don't ever get help. That's the evidence to you guys who think Jesus was bothered and stuff. You believe in a fake character, sadly. You don't know how powerful he was. If they're actually stalking somebody, bothering somebody, God would help you. He doesn't help us because he's putting us in the situation. You can scream all day, no one's going to save you. God is not going to do anything, you know? The 30-year mark has to be finished. And yes, it's almost over for me too, to be in this fake persecution. So for that reason, everyone, um, yeah, what was I saying? God will set the time where I meet human beings. Oh yeah, see, witchcraft attacked me when I was talking about Mahdi, someone very important. So Mahdi, right? Demons accuse them of being, sorry, they created this fake character. They just possessed this animal, but they were sneaking up on me. I didn't see it. So that's why I got demonically attacked. I was talking about Mahdi, but then I went somewhere else. It seemed like I was going too far away. That's how these episodes get too long. And instantly I just saw a rat get possessed and it just ran away from me. So that's why. There was a demon in the rat and it was putting witchcraft on me. So, right, Mahdi, there's a fake character created out of every prophet. Just like God is allowed, not God is allowed. See, my words are getting ruined. I want you to see how it happens, the witchcraft. Just like God allows demons to lie about him, but obviously the demons are not stronger than God. They are allowed to lie about everything regarding religion. And those who bring it down and those who teach you, which is prophets. Okay, so that doesn't mean this rat is getting on my nerves. That doesn't mean see see everybody just tried to bother me again. I can't finish the stuff about Mahdi. I want you to see it, everybody. I'm not gonna edit it. This is what witchcraft is doing. It's like you're just forgetting what you want to say. You know what you want to say, but it's distracting you, it's confusing you. It's just mental attack. So right, obviously they're allowed to then also lie about prophets. It's not because they're equal to them or stronger than them. No, prophets are stronger than demons. They're the supernatural heroes of this earth. So that's why it's easy to accuse them of being sons of gods. They have supernatural abilities too. It's just because they're being hidden, right? That hiddenness, God makes them just live like a regular human in that sense, right? Their body doesn't look scary to you or anything like that. There's no big light coming out of them. So you think, right, that it doesn't make sense. Yeah, but when you were living, if you were living in their time, then you would have seen their supernaturalness. So if you all live long enough to see Mahdi, then you'll see an actual supernatural looking person. You know, they won't have a different form because it's not a different species that they come from. But you know what I mean? You actually see a supernatural looking being. So it'll make sense to you. But it won't make sense to you if you saw them as a kid, you know, or when they were 15, like that. Because you are being blinded. They still are supernatural. God just doesn't let them use it, you know. They have an ability to do something that it's like, okay, they're not going to actually be made to use it. They're being made to just live, to suffer first. Okay, so God, right, allowed demons to then lie. And that lying means they create fake characters first of the prophets, such as Mahdi. And they're saying the fake character they created out of this fake Mahdi character. They created these fake characters, right? One of those fake characters that don't exist is a fake Mahdi character. And that fake Mahdi character, they're accusing that character of being the antichrist. No, they're not. Mahdi is like Jesus. They're gonna come and be your hero and help you. That's it. They're from God. The antichrist is actually a bad living being, and I know who they are. And that's why I know who they are, because I know who Mahdi is. And I know then who the antichrist is, because I'm the one exposing corruptions in religion. So I was told these things. But when I'm gonna tell you, everyone, that's for God to decide.